Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the weekly kickoff. All right, now to start the week, as per usual, come back, check the news pages, right? You just want to see if there's anything significant that may disrupt the markets. And you can also do that by just having a quick look at the hourly charts. If there's significant moves or significant news, you would see big one-way moves, right? And we aren't seeing that at the moment. So the news released over the weekend isn't that dramatic. Now, a bit more beat up stories here about the Trump trade. Okay, if Trump wins, supposed to be good for the dollar. Obviously, if he loses, they'll be factoring that out. And that's been attributed to part of the US dollar strength. We've still got the October earnings month for all the top firms, so just keep an eye on the equities. And then from there, there's just a few other things, right? The Canadian dollar falls for third week on jumbo rate cut bets. Now, that the rate cut from the Bank of Canada, the 50 basis points, has been factored in. So don't like the news services can try and attribute like it's moving now. It's not. It's moving for different reasons, but that is factored in. I'll cover that in a minute because that's one of the key things you want to do each week is have a look at, are there any central banks releasing data this week? Now, let's just have a look here at on the hourly charts, right? The dollar index is just rolling over, and that's sort of putting, not pressure on the dollar Swiss, but we're seeing dollar Swiss roll over and dollar yen. And probably the first time in a little while that dollar CAD, it's not quite rolling over, but it's not sort of exploding higher, unlike the rest of the dollar pairs. Now, euro making a bit of a surge, bit of a comeback, as is sterling. Aussie and Kiwi sort of drifted sideways, but ready to go up. Now, I spoke about this last, I think Thursday, Friday. We're starting to see these instruments drift sideways. Now, they've been pushed down with geopolitical US dollar strength, largely, right? And that only has a certain lifespan, and that's sort of running out. So you can start to see where there's, there's potential here for a bounce, especially on the short term in euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, and that should drive dollar Swiss, potentially dollar yen down. The loonie, dollar CAD, well, it depends on what oil does, right? If it continues to fall, dollar CAD's going to keep rallying. If we start to see oil rally, then you're going to see dollar CAD fall as well. So that's where we are, right? The dollar index is showing us exactly what the dollar's doing. It is sort of drifting, right? If you look at your daily charts, you can see here we've come back and tested some of these longer term levels, right? You got that bull bear pivot line there here on euro as well. It's just enough to take out some weak stop losses, potentially a rebound into the range. Sterling is already still trading range bound. Aussie's back in the range, and Kiwi can't make up its mind. So, you know what? We've had a bit of disharmony between the short term and long term moves of a lot of pairs. They are almost about to line up again. All right, now let's just have a look here. So when we come back and have a look at the interest rate probabilities, one of the first things I do at the start of the week is actually just make sure, are there any central bank meetings this week, right? Obviously, we do have the Bank of Canada, and the 50 basis point cut is 96% factored in, right? So for all those new traders, don't when they make the announcement, don't go and sell Canadian dollars because it's already factored into the market, right? It's about their statement, and anything that comes out of their press conference, that's where the move will come from. So when the move, regardless how big it is fully factored in, right? It doesn't have an impact in the market. You've just got to understand that the move has already been done in the marketplace, right? So that's what we're going to be looking at as we go through the core week, right? We'll be having a close look at dollar CAD, but you know what? It's just drifting sideways. And that's while, in amongst like oil, which has been all over the shop, right? It's been on a wild ride. The Middle East conflict, the hurricanes coming through the Gulf of Mexico. Dollar CAD's been pushed and pulled all over the place. But we'll see what the Bank of Canada have got in store for us in their statement and press conference. Now, if I just come back to the website, it's probably a little bit easier to see. We've got, if you look at the economic calendar, right, there's not a lot coming out this week. It's sort of like tier 2, tier 3 numbers. So if you sort of scroll down through the week, there's nothing really to hang your hat on. Now, the Bank of Canada rate decision, Yeah, that's fully factored in, right? A 0.5% cut. So it sort of takes that event off the page, right? Then you've got just existing home sales and a bunch of other numbers coming through the remainder of the week. So don't get excited. It's week 3. Most of the big numbers are already out, but you get into I guess you get into like sort of Thursday, Friday. We are starting to see some of these PMI numbers, which can potentially trigger some sort of response in the market. Then you got the weekly jobless claims Thursday, as per usual. We're just sort of bouncing around, waiting for the key numbers. But this isn't the week for big numbers. But you know what? If you've been looking at the market for some time, you'll know that these sort of linking weeks where there's no really big tier one numbers, they can quite often see the move happen, right? And that's what I'm sort of looking for. So you know what? Just keep an eye on your calendar, see what's coming out. That's the best way to do it. The Primetime Pro Signals at the moment, I'll be doing a special presentation on the Primetime Pro trade tools that I've developed over the last sort of 12 months. It is going to be something that's going to be a very, very big interest to a lot of traders. It's a trade tool aimed at specifically at timing, but you put this alongside the masterclass course, you're looking at some crazy returns, right? I'm super pumped to just get this thing working for myself, and you guys will have the chance to scoop that up as well. All right, so that's where we are. Like the Primetime Pro Signals, this is what I was talking about, right? We are starting to see opportunities arise here. Sterling, Aussie, right? You've got short-term and long-term sort of directions starting to line up, as well as dollar yen and dollar Swiss, right? The two safe havens looking nice for a move to the downside. So you'll be keeping abreast of any updates on those pro signals. Once they hit prime time, they will become live and active trades. But at the moment, they are sitting in the pending trades file. All right, guys. So week ahead, you know what? Let's just play it by ear, right? See how things go. As much as the Bank of Canada rate decision is fully factored in, we'll still have a look at that. It's still worth a look, especially CAD against the crosses. If you're looking at the markets, we have got basically US equity futures going up. I tell you what, the US interest rate yields are still edging up higher, especially the long dated stuff, right? This is, and that's probably stalling a lot of the moves, right? Now, one other thing, just recently in the last, 15 minutes, I think it is, China have cut their interest rates again. So we are seeing a bit of Aussie Kiwi, like the risk pairs starting to rally. That goes with the sentiment on those equities, right? So China have cut rates again. This is part of their overall stimulus package. It's not like the Aussie and Kiwi are exploding in the CAD, but just keep an eye on those pairs. It does support a move to the top side, right? That's outside of that, it's a quiet Monday. I'll keep you in touch each day as we go through the week, see if we can't isolate some good trading pairs along the way. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.